It's the Funny Comics Fan Club.
Hello!
Hello everybody.
Hello everybody, we're coming to you live.
Live and direct from a
Beano
small
Town.
room.
In Beano Town.
Are we in Beano Town?
Let's say Beano Town.
That's funny because we're not looking at the Beano today.
We're not looking at the Beano stage. Oh, what are we looking at today?
Oink. That's what we're looking at today.
Oh, I see, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah,
All
I wasn't
right,
doing a pig impression just for your benefit.
There's-
God knows why that would be to your benefit, but
I don't know whether that would be my benefit.
it wouldn't be really, would it?
No, it wouldn't. No.
Nevertheless, I was not impersonating a pig for any reason other than the fact that we're looking at Oink.
Well, there are a lot of pigs in this comic, aren't there? There's a lot of piggy ness in it.
Funnily enough, this edition we're looking at came out 8th to the 15th of January 1988. Okay. So I think looking back, I was slightly too old at this point for Oink because I was 18.
Funnily enough, so was I. And so was I. Yes, my little brother used to get this, so I'd read his copy of it.
I think my sister bought the first one. She's 5 years younger than me. I remember being intrigued by it, but I never bought it myself. Did you? You would just read your brother's one?
I read my brother's one, yeah, that's right, yeah.
All the time?
No, sometimes I slept, went to school, that sort of thing.
Yes.
But apart from that, yes, I always used to read it because I'd get 2000 AD, and then when I finished 2000 AD, I'd wait till he finished Oink and read that and swap over.
Because I remember the first one coming out because of the flexi disc that came with it.
Yes.
Have you? Yeah. So I remember listening to that. I don't know whether I actually read the comic, but I listened to because do you know who played it?
Hang on, it's Mark Riley's on it, isn't he?
Mark Riley's on it. He was in The Fall. Who used to play The Fall a lot on the radio?
Oh, John Peel was in the band.
John Peel played the Oink flexi disc once.
Oh, he played it. He wasn't in the band. He
wasn't in the band.
No.
But yeah, he played it on the radio.
Okay.
Because he was so cool, John Peel, wasn't he? He was so cool. So I just remember listening to the flexi disc and being intrigued by it, but then I never bought it. Never read it again. That was it. Don't know why.
But that was the thing with Oink, wasn't it? Because I think Oink was a bit cool, wasn't it? They didn't have a space spinner on the first issue. They had a flexi disc.
Yeah.
Frank Sidebottom's in it. There's lots of references to music things. It's designed to be slightly older than traditional comics readers, isn't it?
Well, as you say, Mark Riley was involved with it. It was based in Manchester. It wasn't based in London like a lot of the traditional comics, or it wasn't based in Scotland.
Yeah.
It was based. I don't know how many comics were based in Manchester.
Well, what happened was that this was published by IPC, who are like one of our big two publishing companies. Mark Rogers, Tony Husband, and Paul Gallagher were the people who made Oink. They put it together in their offices in Manchester, and then it was distributed by IPC. So it's a different way of doing it than most of the comics, than all of the comics that we've looked at, I think.
So this is like almost like an independent.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Comic.
And it feels like one. So it does feel that kind of. Some of it, especially, is very fanzine-y. Some of it isn't, but we'll see how we go when we get into that, won't we?
So yeah, so this edition is number 45. So we're sort of on the home straight here in a way.
We kind of are, aren't we? Because it lasted until October 1988. So it was fortnightly to start with for the first about year and a half, and then it went weekly. But this is the first weekly one. Stayed weekly for 4 months, and then went monthly to the very end.
I think Maxwell took it over, and then the fun went out of it apparently because they started poking their nose in, and sales went down anyway.
We'll have to put the link in. What's that blog called?
Yeah, there's a really good and detailed blog by a guy called Phil Boyce, I believe his name is. I mean, there's only one Oink blog. You know, there's not a lot. I don't know what you thought, but I didn't find an enormous amount of information about Oink on the net. Not really.
Well, I read one interesting thing about this. So I've been reading this week. I've been reading Chris Donald's book, Rude Kids.
I'd love to. I really want to read that again.
It's really good. I highly recommend it. It's really nicely written. It's really funny.
Maybe we'll have to do Viz at some point.
Let's do Viz at some point.
I really want to. Yeah, I have read it once years ago. The start of that is completely fascinating as far as I remember.
Oh, it's brilliant. But then there's a horrible bit where because Oink is basically Viz for kids. That's kind of what it is.
I mean, a lot of reviewers have said, "Oh, it's nothing like Viz." Oh, don't just say it's like a junior version of Viz, because then Viz wasn't really established at this point. And don't say it's like Viz, because it isn't. But it clearly is.
It really is.
In fact, I've got...
he's gone to his notes, listeners. He's gone to his notes.
I was reading a website called Dazed Club where they interview one of the editors, Patrick Gallagher, and he says, "We were anarchic, like a younger version of Viz." So there it is. He has said it. So a lot of people say, they were influenced by Mad Comic. They were influenced by things on the TV or in music. And that's probably true as well.
Yeah.
But there's a certain element of that to it.
But there's a horrible story in Chris Donald's book. I felt really bad about it because he said that when Oink launched, or maybe when they went to weekly, I don't know. They had a party. They had a do.
Because they contributed something to Oink occasionally.
Yeah. Well, Davey Francis is in this. He's a Viz.
He's a Viz guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And Lou Stringer has gone on to do things. And so it's all mixed over. But they said when it was, they had this party. Maybe it was the first birthday of Oink. And they invited the Viz people over to Manchester to the party, which is very nice. They're very sporting of them. And the Viz people went and got drunk and then thought it'd be hilarious to do a prank where Tony Husband's mum had baked a special cake for Oink Comic. And what the Viz guys did was they nicked the cake and ran away with it. And they were going to reveal everything, but they forgot to. And then Tony Husband's mum went home in tears because somebody had stolen the cake.
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
Pranks are the lowest form of wit. I really hate pranks.
I can't bear a prank.
It's just sort of getting at other people for no good reason. It's not good. It's not funny. It's not clever.
Don't do it, kids. Don't do it.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But there is in this. There's quite a lot of being nasty about other people for fun, isn't there?
Well, I was listening to the podcast of the Oink blog. There's one podcast where that guy talks about Oink to somebody else. So it's not actually his podcast, but he says that the three editors almost saw themselves like a punk band when they were putting this out.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of meetings in pubs, everyone getting drunk a lot. It was in Manchester. I think Manchester was happening at this point.
Oh, it would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah.
The Happy Mondays. There was even suggestions that they might have even been in the same building as some of these groups. I'm not sure about that. But there's certainly, a fanzine-y feel to it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like some of it reminds me of the Young Ones, but just without the swearing.
Yeah, and not quite as
disgusting.
Good. Well, good. Disgusting.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Because I mean, the first strip in it, The Slugs, is very, very self-consciously punk because it's a strip about a punk band, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is not great. I mean, I have a feeling that they were sort of maybe running out of steam at this point a little bit.
Well, I seem to remember it always being like this because some of it you'd read Oink and some of it was great. Some of it you think, well, what was the point of that? And some of it you go, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
And The Slugs the whole thing is like there's a man dancing and then the punchline is sending your pictures of yourself dancing. And you think, well, how is that going to... I don't know how that's going to work.
That's like... Inspiration is running low on this page. They're asking you, Uncle Pig, the editor, is asking you to write in and send stuff in. The whole comic has only got one contribution from a reader.
Oh, it has. You're
one
right.
contribution. I don't know if that was... Maybe that's just this issue that's like that. Somebody's drawn a picture of Nigel Hamsel, and that's tucked away at a small, at the bottom of the page.
But
nevertheless, they are trying to get the readers involved, which is great.
And let's just say here, Nigel Hamsel, not the last time we'll be hearing a pork or pig-based pun in this comic.
I sort of like the fact that it's got some sort of overarching concept to it. Most comics haven't.
No, true. And I like the fact they got Uncle Pig.
Uncle Pig's the editor.
He's the editor.
I mean, it's a really peculiar concept. I mean, why the hell would you have a whole comic all about pigs?
It's all about pigs. But shall we go on to something... Oh, yes, on the next page there's a story called The Secret Diary of Hadrian Vile, aged 8 5/8 years.
It is inventive, this comic. Whatever else you want to say about it, it's full of ideas, and it is a very creative piece of work. Like, this thing has got... It's got typewritten, not dialogue, but text. Typewritten text. Because this Hadrian Vile guy's typing a diary, so you see what he's typing in typewritten text. And it's all spelt wrong. So this reminded me of the Molesworth books.
Yes.
Down with School and things like that, where it was a schoolboy who got all the spelling wrong. I used to love that as a kid.
Oh, I love moles.
So this is a sort of similar vein.
Yeah. I mean, it's a takeoff of Adrian Mole. And the funny thing is, there's loads. We keep bumping into things inspired by Adrian Mole, but Adrian Mole it was published in 1982. So, but maybe it was on telly at this point.
Yes, that could be right. Yeah. That might be right.
But it looks great. It's by Ian Jackson, is the bloke who drew it, and it looks just fabulous. It looks sort of like a bit like Punch.
So yeah, and it's written by this Mark Rogers guy who had a lot to do with it. I believe he was quite a sort of. He used to write for a lot of IPC comics. But moving over to the page, what do we have here, Mark?
So this is the first one I really wanted to look at.
We haven't said who we are.
Oh, we haven't said who we are. Who are we? What's going on?
I don't know who I am anymore. Right, well, I'm not Dr. John Dredge.
Oh, I am Dr. Mark Hibbett.
We've got that out of the way. Now to continue.
If anybody's still listening, now they've realised who we are. But what I want to talk about is it's called Pete and His Pimple. It's by Lou Stringer, the very great Lou Stringer. And I just think this is about a boy who's got a massive pimple on his nose. And it is huge. I mean, the pimple is bigger than he is, isn't it? It's a huge, great big thing. But I really like this because it is... I remember like reading things like Fantasy Advertised and comics fanzines in the 80s. And Lou Stringer would have things in them. And this is kind of... It's a little bit like a fanzine strip. And it is like the fanzine strips he was doing at the time. It's a little bit like a DC Thompson comic strip. It's a little bit like Leo Baxendale. There's things in there. And it's a little bit like Viz as well. It's all these sort of things. And it stands out from the rest because this is basically a comic. Because I think when Oink finished, Pete and His Pimple and Tom Thug, the other Lou Stringer strip, went into Buster comic. But nothing, the rest of them all kind of finished, I think.
Yeah, that seems odd to me, that this comic somehow amalgamated with something as reasonably traditional as Buster.
I don't think it did amalgamate with it technically. It's just that some of the strips went over.
Okay. Because if you'd said that Lou Stringer strips had gone to Viz, I wouldn't have been surprised.
No.
To me, this is the most Viz-like strip of all of them.
But it is. But I think it's also the most Beano-like strip as well.
Why? How come you think it's more like that? Because it's really pretty disgusting. Even for me, this is pretty revolting.
It's only a pimple, John. That's all. It's pimple bursts. But
that's horrible, isn't it?
If you look in the background, there's things like there's a little squiddly monster. There's like a Leo Baxdale thing there. He walks past a chemist, and the chemist's got joke signs in the doorway. He says "ooh" at one point. That's a slither. These are all very good Beano things going on here.
But this would never get in the Beano because it's too horrible.
And there's a poo driving by in a model car just there. So it's all of these sort of things that remind me of like crazy. It's a lot like Crazy Comic as well. It's all this sort of
but Crazy Comic didn't have like gross out humour or whatever you want to call it. It never had that sort of humour.
Pongo Snodgrass and his snotty nose. Does that not is snot dripping out of a nose any more vulgar or less vulgar than a pimple person?
I just feel that somehow this is a little bit more extreme.
It's not exactly extreme, is it?
Well, just for me, to my mind, it is.
You're very delicate.
But you know what? I mean, I'm not. I'm a bit squeamish. I've always been a bit squeamish, so it's probably my fault.
Well, you people from the land of Squeam.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. I just loved it. I thought and also Tom Thug's in this as well, which is another Lou Stringer one.
Yeah.
I just think it's so great, and it just sort of stands out from the rest of it because this is somebody just started going, I'm going to do a normal comic. Yes, all right. The squeamish may not like it. The extremely squeamish may not. But otherwise, it's a normal comic. Whereas most of the rest of this is it.
I like the bit at the end where he's asking readers to write in with cures for Pete's pimple.
Brilliant.
I thought that was nice. I mean, it's hard to get a sense of this comic just from one issue, I think. Because I was reading something about it and they were saying every issue was pretty different. You know, the whole thing was quite unpredictable.
Yeah.
So you might have a one-off, you might have something that never appeared again, you might have a regular character reduced to half a page, then it'd be 2 page. You know, it was all over the place, which I really like. They were obviously putting a lot of effort and thought into these things.
Yeah, sure.
But then now we come to Oink Piggy Parodies present Ron Dibney's Windy the Pooh. I love this page because it's a parody of Walt Disney, Winnie the Pooh, and the sort of strips you would get in things like Disneyland's comic. I mean, the artwork is just to a T. It looks exactly like Disney. How they never got sued?
How did they not get sued? Because it looks exactly like Disney. It really does.
I presume Disney never saw it. Otherwise, there could have been a problem. Because this thing is quite, again, a little bit on the extreme side, I would say.
I know you've been upset about a pimple exploding on this side, and then what happens?
I'm upset on this side. I'm upset about Winnie the Pooh exploding.
He's blown up with a stick of dynamite, isn't he?
Well, Piglet gives him a stick of dynamite, blows him up, and he says, "I win this game by getting rid of the boring, soppy, snobby bear I've hated for years." So fair enough, he blows up. You know, we've all seen the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote blown up. But at the end of this, he's clearly dead.
Yeah, he's got a halo around his head, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's being taken away by the ambulance men. Yeah. And Piglet has taken over the strip, and he's talking to Ron Dibley, or whatever his name is, and saying, right, now I'm the star of it. It reminds me of things like the Not the 9 O'Clock News book, which I saw as a kid, which blew my mind because it had a spoof cartoon strip of Busby, the bird from the BT adverts, and Busby was doing fairly disgusting things in this spoof, which I thought was brilliant. So this reminded me of that. The artwork is spot on. I just thought, what a great use of a comic strip, you know.
And I suppose, the whole of Oink does feel a bit different from the comics we've looked at before, because it is designed for a very slightly older age group. So this is like kids about 12, I suppose, is there? And
yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So that's why a lot of the humour is, there's the thing that you like and we've made it look rubbish, and it's that sort of literally childish humour that is not quite the same as the Beano and the Dandy kind of humour. I mean, if you read the Beano and the Beano today, they don't do this sort of thing, but there's a lot of, we're just being nasty for the sake of it, because that's what kids like, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it must have been aimed at slightly older kids.
Yeah.
Because this is nothing like the Dandy or the Beezer or, you know, Whizzer and Chips. It's a lot less safe looking.
Yeah, it feels less supervised, doesn't it? It just feels like they've been put together, yeah.
This feels completely mad. There's a lot of it feels like the artists have got a lot of freedom here.
Yeah, and I think this next page here, so we're now looking at Prime Porky Products, the merchandising thing. This really stuck out to me. It's so different because in like Whizzer and Chips, if you want any Whizzer and Chips merchandising, you have to win a competition. In Oink, you can just pay for it. And they've got the Uncle Pig's Pig Pack bag, basically.
The Pig Pack is the Oink Club.
But then you can just buy a T-shirt. You want a T-shirt, you don't have to win anything. You don't have to send it. Maybe that's why nobody's bothered sending anything in. Because
maybe they don't want to. Maybe they don't want to buy it. Maybe they want to win it.
I'll just pay £4.27 for an Oink T-shirt. Or
I don't remember seeing many people with Oink T-shirts.
I don't either.
I mean, the club that you join, Be a Pig Pal, it says, you can get some quite nice looking stickers and silly badges and things, and a membership card. There's also a comb. I don't know whether anyone wants that. It looks, it would have been quite interesting to join it.
Interestingly, now this is very forward thinking, you get a discount on the merch as well. So the T-shirt, the adult T-shirt is £5.27, but if you're a member of the Pig Pack, £4.77. It's like a loyalty card ahead of its time.
Is this almost like how Marvel used to merchandise stuff a little bit?
Kinda, yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
A bit more almost like professional. Pay for it and get something.
I guess they're assuming that their readers have money.
Yes.
Whereas an 8-year-old probably wouldn't have money to spend on this.
That's a good point.
Whereas these ones would do, yeah.
If you ever join the Oink Pig Pack Club, get in touch. Because there are a lot of people who still really love this comic.
Yeah, there are.
There's a lot of people with a lot of good memories of it.
Madvertisement.
Get amazing powers of mental hypnosis. Control others with your mind.
Assuming you've got one.
With the amazing Mento coin from GBH.
Unlock the amazingly mental powers hidden in your psychic thoughts. Send for this simple tool and you can...
increase your attractiveness.
People will realise that you've got money to burn.
Meet new people.
E.g. debt collectors, bailiff.
Make friends.
With the owner of the pawn shop.
Make anybody do anything you say.
As long as you say, laugh at me, I'm a moron who sends money to rip off companies.
Hypnotise people to sleep.
By telling them about your mental powers.
Send £1,000,000.98 or something in a stamped addressed stately home to GBH Mental Offer, 10% Avenue, cash in, bucks.
Yeah, and then I wanted to talk about, over the next page, Haldane's Incredible, Amazing, Bizarre World. So this is just a half a page, and it's 4 jokes, And I just thought it was great. I just love this. I thought this is actually genuinely funny. And I think this is a lovely thing about Oink. You look at it and sometimes things will be in it and they're genuinely, actually, I laughed out loud at some of these.
Yeah, it's not like, I never laughed at the Dandy. I think we've said this.
We have.
I never sat there killing myself with laughter. But yeah, this has got more actual jokes in it.
Yeah. With the Dandy or the Beano, you go, I see.
Yeah. Oh, how entertaining.
Also, I like the fact that it's called Haldane's Incredible, Amazing, Bizarre World. It's named after the author of it. So whereas it's the other end of the spectrum from the Beano and the Dandy, or even like the IPC comics, where you would not see the person's name. Sometimes our old pal Terry Babe would sign a strip or whatever.
He's not in this.
No, he's not, is he?
I wonder why.
Oh, goodness. Can you imagine Terry? Oh, flipping heck. It'd be like your granddad coming around when he has smoking or something. It'd be awful.
I don't think he would have approved of this.
He wouldn't have thought this was fun, would he?
He wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Or he would not have liked it.
No. You say that, but these aren't really jokes as such in this thing. They're just more like stupid statements.
I know, but I just thought it was funny. So there's one here. It says, in 1817, Queen Victoria... So it's basically amazing facts, isn't it? In 1817, Queen Victoria walked through Basingstoke with a paper bag on her head. Amazingly, nobody recognised her. They all thought she was Florence Nightingale with a paper bag on her head.
Yeah, that's a good...
I just thought it was funny. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
And it's got these lovely little pictures with him as well. It's great.
Yeah, it's just stupidity.
It's very stupid, yeah.
That's what I like about it. So, shall we move on to... Yeah, there's a really peculiar send-up of Sherlock Holmes in this. Sherlock Hams, and it's all pig jokes as usual.
It's pig jokes as usual. Oh, I mean, it looks gorgeous.
It looks good. I'm not 100% sure how hilarious it is. There's not an enormous amount of jokes in it, actually.
No, because it's written by Lou Stringer, but it's drawn by, what's that guy's name?
Ron Zino or something?
Ron Zino or Ron Tanno, I can't remember. But it looks great because I know the guy who drew it. He had done lots of book covers. He draws children's illustrations, so it looks really nice. But it is kind of Sherlock Holmes, but Sherlock Holmes and Watson are pigs for no reason whatsoever, and then there's some pig puns.
Yeah, and that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think Lou Stringer wrote it. We've said how great Lou Stringer is.
Yeah, we love him. Yeah, we love Lou Stringer.
This is not his best work.
Not his best work, but nevertheless, it's nicely done.
It's nicely done.
And here is Lou again. Look at that.
There
So
he is.
he's sort of quite dominant in this issue. We've got Tom Thug next.
It does feel like a team, like a band have put this together because there's lots of Lou Stringer. There's loads of Tony Husband stuff in there as well, isn't it? It does feel like a small group of people put this together.
And it's all got the same sort of sense of humour.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
So that's nice.
And what I really liked about this Tom Thug one is like there are hardly any backgrounds in it, and then he goes, "Oh, it snowed." So he puts a snowman and goes, "Okay, it snowed. Yeah, fair enough." Then. But yeah, it looks good. But what I thought was funny about this one is that his parents are supposed to be comically rough and horrible. And they're actually no different at all from any of the parents in the 70s comics we've looked at.
No, they seem quite reasonable compared to him, actually. But what I like is the background detail here where there's a skinhead snowman that he's made. That's really nice.
And he's put the little arrows in pointing to things, hasn't he? So that's a very Beano thing.
Yeah.
My only criticism is Tom Thug's mum, she's a working class mother, wears a headscarf. She's not wearing a headscarf, that's against the rules.
That's against the rules. But then I think Oink didn't really have any rules. And that's what's quite nice about it. What I noticed is another thing. He's got two. So Lou has got 2 or 3 strips in this, and in 2 of them, there's like things that are upside down. Like there's a snowman here that's upside down, and it says "Dandy Reader's Snowman." And then on Pete and his Pimple, on that page that he also wrote, there's a bit where someone's reading the Dandy upside down.
Oh, right.
They're standing in a bus queue. So there's this sort of thematic thing in the background, which I like.
I always used to surmise that Lou Stringer had been rejected by Dandy at some point around here.
Maybe so. We'll have to ask him.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because it's like, it's supposed to be, here's this rough character. He's like, he's not any worse than Dennis the Menace by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, you sort of end up feeling sorry for him.
Yeah, he does, and he gets punished at the end of it, like Dennis very rarely does.
Yeah, he gets a sled on his head.
He gets a sled on his head. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to read some more issues of this because, as I say, I don't think you quite get the whole picture from one issue at the end of the run.
No, indeed.
So you wanted to look at this blooming page now.
Yeah.
What's this?
So if you go from Tom Thug on one side of this spread to, this is called...
There's no actual title.
What's he called?
No
Dr. Hieronymus van Helsing by Banks with an X.
Yeah.
So what did you think of this before?
I really didn't understand it or connect with it in any way. I just didn't get it.
No, I don't like, because Banks has got 2 strips in this. Hieronymus Hellsong, and he's got Burp the Alien. And I just did not like these at all.
I thought you did. I thought that's why you must have chosen it.
No, I always find them so... I don't know, I mean, again, you know, I enjoy weird things. I enjoy your company for one thing.
Well, that's
there
true,
we go.
yeah.
And...
What a compliment.
Thank you.
But,
but it's like...
there's no actual setup and punchline in this.
It's part 1 of a 6-part series.
I mean, I'm worried about that. I don't want to see the other parts of this.
And it's all black, but it's all drawn like it should be
some
the
sort
punch
of
card
gothic thing, some sort of gothic comic strip. We'll have to put this on the socials because it's so odd. There's no real jokes to it. It's just all a strange concept, and things that I don't understand. Like there's a bit where there are something called the Gill Men, which come out of the blue and I presume are never going to appear again, and they're funny fish men from some strange world that is not explained. Well, none of this is really explained.
Well, what it is he's like Van Helsing. So he's called Van Helsing. So Van Helsing is a vampire hunter from the Dracula stories. In the Universal movies, he was a character in that. So in this, Van Helsing kills a vampire, kills a mummy, kills a gill man. A gill man is one of the lesser known monsters in that. He's the creature in the Black Lagoon. Basically.
See, I didn't know that. I mean, do you think kids would know that?
I would not have thought so, no. But then the whole thing is done like in this really gothic... It's got a whole black background. It's really gothic, really dark.
There's no sort of climax at the end. It's just something's going to happen next week. This is a bit of a cop-out.
Well, yeah, and the only joke is he gets his bum out to frighten a devil at one point. And then, like, the shadow at the end, you're like, oh, my word, it's a butcher. And at this point, I'm sorry, Uncle Pig, I'm sick to death of pig and butcher jokes. It's like this is what, like, issue 45 is like, yeah, all right, it's called Oink, I understand. There's so much of it. There's so much of it.
I wonder if that actually limited it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, some people really, really love this comic, don't they?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I could tell that there's a lot of imaginative work going into it, a lot of creativity, a lot of anarchy, a lot of cool ideas all over the place. But I'm not sure the pig thing quite works over 68 issues.
No, I mean,
it's like having the same joke every week, isn't it?
It is.
A little bit like that.
I mean, I guess the thing with it is it's very patchy. It's very, very varied. But that's part of the thing that makes it exciting because most of the other comics you read aren't like that at all.
No,
they're quite.
This is unpredictable.
Yes,
that is the number one thing that this is, and that is a good thing. So let's see what else is on the next page. So. Right, now we come to this bit. Know your IQ with Uncle Pig's super accurate test. It's an IQ test that they've got at the bottom because they have like spoof quizzes and spoof fact files and all this sort of thing. Script, it says down here, Charlie Brooker.
Whatever happened to it?
So I think after this he went downhill.
Because this is really funny, isn't it?
This is the best thing in it.
It is, I agree. I
don't think he ever wrote anything better than this.
It's brilliant. I looked at it and like, I know what this is. It's just one of these quizzes, and it's just like a bunch of jokes that are really funny.
I think he was at school when he wrote this.
I think he would have been, won't he? Yeah, because he was writing for lots of Amiga magazine and sort of computer magazines as well at the time,
I believe so. But I'm going to read a few of these Know Your IQ questions out because they're so good. I'm going to read the answers out as well. 3. This is question 3 for Know Your IQ. If John has blue eyes, his brother Sam has green eyes, second cousin Julie has grey-green eyes, what does Julie's brother Entwistle have?
A stupid name.
Brilliant. This is the best joke of all. A postman delivers 3 letters to number 56, 4 letters to number 75, and 9 letters to number 51. But he delivers no letters to number 53. Why?
Number 53 is the HQ of the Dave Lee Travis fan club.
I mean, that joke is even better nowadays.
It's aged well.
It's really good. And one more joke at the end here.
Go on then.
3 men are digging a hole. It takes them an hour to dig 6 feet deep. A 4th man is by the side of the hole, but they could dig no faster even if they asked him to help. Why?
The 4th man is dead, and the other 3 are burying him.
Brilliant.
Although, to be fair, that would probably work for one of these quizzes anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this reminds me of the sort of rubbish I had to do at school. So kids must have absolutely loved it.
It's brilliant. It is. I completely agree with you. I think it's the best thing in it. It's so funny.
It really stood out.
And he just sits there in the bottom half of the page underneath the Piggin Crazy Readers contest.
Which isn't that great.
Which is not very crazy. So somebody sent in a picture of a restaurant called the Pig Trough. And that's it.
And then someone sent a picture of themselves in, and it looks like they might have drawn pig snouts on themselves, and that's about it as well there.
And the Uncle Pig's going in the classic wibbling your tongue way. It's not that crazy, Uncle Pig.
Not that crazy.
Not that crazy at all.
So yeah, we love Know Your IQ.
We did. That was fantastic.
There's hardly any Frank Sidebottom in this issue. What's going on?
Personally, that's not my complaint.
I
can have.
Now we see the violence inherent in the system. You're not a big Frank Sidebottom fan?
I'm not a big Frank Sidebottom fan.
Okay, so were you ever a fan? Was that like your initial thought, and you still to this day continue with that view?
Let me be clear.
Yes.
I have full respect for all fans of Frank Sidebottom, if that is their wish. I find nothing wrong with Frank Sidebottom. I don't find it offensive in any way. I just don't really see the point.
Well, I didn't really see the point until I watched Being Frank, which is the Chris Seavey story. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It came out a couple of years ago. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, no.
It might be worth watching it, even though you don't like him, because I didn't know anything about him, actually, at that point. Ian Lee took me to see that film. I might as well name drop.
Ooh.
I went with him to see that.
Yeah.
He knew I'd like it. I'd never heard of the thing. I mean, maybe as a kid I'd sort of seen his face around. It made it very difficult not to once you know what it is. I mean, how would you describe Frank Sidebottom for someone who's never heard of him? It was me. It's only a few years ago.
So he's a very nasal speaking. He talks like that, doesn't he?
Talks like that. How's it going?
Northern comedian who's very, very enthusiastic about everything, and he has a large oval papier-mâché head that he never takes off.
Yeah, and he lives with his mum, and he's about 35.
In Pimple, and he has a puppy called Little Frank and all this sort of thing.
That documentary is fascinating to me because it tells the story of this guy and how he was actually a serious musician, never got anywhere. And then when he did this, it suddenly took off, and it was him trying to deal with it, the success of it. The unexpected success of it. You wouldn't expect this to get anywhere. A strange bloke with a papier-mâché head wandering about. But it did do very well. He was on all the kids' early morning shows for a while.
Yes, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
I mean, the performances themselves, to me, aren't that great, what I've seen of them. And this page in Oink certainly isn't very funny. It looks like it's almost hurriedly thrown away, which most of Chris Seavey's work was not.
No, indeed.
It wasn't hurriedly sort of done at all. But this looks like a last-minute thing. Yeah,
well, this is some photographs of the filming of a video that he made.
Yeah.
Mull of Timperley.
And it's not particularly interesting.
It's not interesting at all.
But I've had a look at some of the Frank Sidebottom art in other issues, and it is brilliant. It's like comic strips that are full of silly ideas and full of fun and really well drawn. And I found them really interesting, whereas this page doesn't really reflect that at all.
No. I mean, I have been exposed to more than my fair share of Frank Sidebottom.
Why is that?
Because I'm in a band, and people liking Frank Sidebottom is things that happen in bands. It's like people liking The Fall.
It's like people liking John Otway. It's like that.
Nothing wrong with liking John Otway. That's a completely different kettle of fish, Jonathan.
Why is that different?
That's completely different. I like John Otway.
Oh, that's why it's different. Yes. I understand now. I know I get it.
That's why
it's like a peculiar cult sort of musician-y, strange person. Yeah, this wasn't a good page because, looking at his other art that he's done for Oink, this is nowhere near as good as it. No. So, let's move on here. Moving on to the page number 403. There's a page here with sort of lots of mini strips on one page. So this reminds me of, was it Hoot that did this as well?
Yes, Hoot did all the little strips, didn't he?
I always quite like that idea. There's something attractive about that to me on a page for some reason. There's a lot going on, maybe a lot to look at.
There's 4 separate strips, isn't there?
If you don't like one, you might like the next one because that's along in a minute. The best 2 strips on this page are Harry the Head by Mark Rogers and Mark Riley, and Dr. Mooney, He's Completely Loony, also by Riley and Davy Francis. And all these, you can see quite clearly, even in these very small strips, that they've all got credits for the artists and the authors. So Harry the Head's really funny. You hear Harry the Head saying, "Hiya, Barney." I said, "Hi, Barney. Barney, don't ignore me." He says, "Oh, sorry, Harry, I didn't recognise you with that new haircut." It's just a head.
Yes, that's kind of the point. He's just a head, isn't he? Yes, that's how that works.
And Dr. Mooney, he's completely loony. Maybe we could do this.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do this one.
Well, I'll be the doctor, because I don't know if I mentioned this, John. No. I am a doctor, so I could be the doctor in this, couldn't I?
You could be.
Yeah, that would
all right. Yeah, let's try that. I never thought of that. Let's try that.
There you go. Yeah. After you,
Doctor. I keep thinking I'm a packet of biscuits.
Those square ones with little holes in them.
Yeah.
You're crackers.
It's quite a good joke.
That's quite a good joke. It's quite a normal joke. It's
very normal.
I mean, like the Zootown one, which is a picture of some lions playing skipping ropes with a snake, and the other snake says, "Oh dear, they told him his new job was child's play."
Yeah.
It's a fair enough joke, but would not be out of place on the letters page of Chips.
It would not be. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Not brilliant. And neither is Greedy Gorb. He eats anything. I mean, that's not a particularly good joke either. It's he's eating a videotape, which is quite amusing. And then he says, "Go and get a pizza." So he goes to Pisa and eats the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yes, that's how that joke works.
That's how that one unfolds.
Yeah. And then over the page, there's another load of jokes.
This is objectionable to me.
Yes,
this is a bit extreme.
It is.
Don't you think?
Well, it's called Nasty Laughs and Specs, and the idea is Nasty Laughs is a skinhead, and Specs is his friend who has glasses on.
Who's a bit of a weed.
Who's a bit of a weed, and Nasty Laughs tells the joke, and then he sort of hits or slaps Specs at the end of it.
Yeah, I didn't like this one.
No, it's not. I mean, as we are both glasses wearers, so maybe the glasses wearing community is taking offence at this. This is probably what's going on.
I side with the glasses wearer.
I also side with the glasses wearer. So this joke here. I'll tell you what, I'll be Nasty Lass and you can be Specs.
Oh, do I have to be?
How'd you get a camel through the eye of a needle?
Tell me.
Put it through a liquidizer first.
Shove.
And then he pushes him back on the head. And it's like, this is really the example I was thinking of earlier about. It's something that kids would find funny because it's somebody being objectionable and getting away with it, and they're going, "Oh, brilliant! Somebody being objectionable."
I suppose so. Yeah.
Now, here in our late youth, as responsible adults, we're going,
"No, let's not show our children this sort of filth."
We've become Mary Lighthouse, haven't we? That's what's happened. Yeah.
There's a character in this called Mary Lighthouse, send up of the old censorship campaigner Mary Whitehouse, which is rather amusing. So
there we go. Yeah.
Have we sort of said enough about Oink for today?
I think we've said it. We've had our fill, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked its attitude. It's quite punky. It's pretty funny, and there's a lot of good things about it.
And I think the fact that we've talked
for a long time,
that's nothing unusual. I think that we felt able to criticise it quite as much as we have. It's because this doesn't feel like a comic for kids so much as you and I are incredibly punk rock. I think you would both agree.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Others might not. But it feels like sort of a thing that would be of us. It's of our age where it would have made something like this.
Yeah, definitely. If I was trying to be funny at the age of 18, I would have tried to write something like this.
Yes, exactly.
It's cool, Yeah. It would go around the playground, I'm sure, and people would snigger at it and, keep it in their jacket pockets and keep it away from the teachers.
Yeah.
Pretty rebellious, the whole thing.
It is, to return to our earliest point, very much Viz for kids, isn't it?
I would say so. I mean, sorry if that annoys all the Viz collectors out there, but...
all the Oink collectors.
Yeah. But we did enjoy it, I think we can say. So, well done, Oink.
Yes.
And don't forget to look at the Oink blog for further details.
Yes. And well done us, because we haven't done any pig puns through the whole show.
We haven't, and we're still not going to.
I'm still trying to think of them.
I can't think of any at all. So they did well, didn't they? 68 issues of it.
68 issues of it, yeah.
Incredible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end now.
All that remains is to discuss what we're doing next time.
What are we doing next time?
Well, normally at this point I would hand John a comic, or sometimes John would hand me a comic, but that is not the case, because the next episode is the final episode of this second series. So in line with what we did last time, we're going to look at a modern comic.
A modern style comic.
And the comic is going to be so modern that we haven't bought it yet. That's how up to date it is. But we're going to look at the Phoenix next time, aren't we?
We certainly are. So until next time, it's good night from me.
And it's hello from everybody else.
Goodbye.
Hello.